In a move that has sparked controversy across Africa's media landscape, French media conglomerate, that's Canal Plus, that's French media giant, has been given the go-ahead, granted the access to acquire Africa's owned MultiChoice Media. That's the largest pay TV broadcaster that operates DSTV, GoTV, Showmax in a $3 billion deal. While some say it is a strategic business transaction, with France, others say it is a foreign takeover of Africa's content, Africa's narrative, and of course, influence. This acquisition marks the end of MultiChoice's era as a proudly owned African media powerhouse. And trust me, it raises serious questions about the future of the content, the representation, and the sovereignty on the continent, because whoever controls the media controls the narrative. And now we are handing over that privilege to France on a platter to own our media and control the narrative. Because MultiChoice was more than a business, it promoted our culture. Storytelling for Africans, for millions of Africans, was more than relatable. We controlled the narrative, we aired our sports, we aired our content. But right now, what's going to happen? With Canal Plus, a shift towards Eurocentric content, censorship, and profit-driven programming, it may not really represent Africa's interest or narrative, as we expected. Now, let's be clear, this deal revives concerns about neocolonialism and economic dominance. How is it that in 2025, Africa's biggest broadcaster has been sold, and not to Pan-African Media Coalition? At least that is understandable. But to former colonizers' media giants, isn't this trouble? So what's next? Will they preserve our culture? Will they preserve our narrative and content? Will they invest in local creators and keep Africa's talent at the center? Of course, we know the answer is no. Now, let's do a quick backstory. Canal Plus has been working slowly but steadily towards acquiring Africa's MultiChoice over the past few years. Canal Plus already held a 45.2% stake in MultiChoice. They already had that foothold in MultiChoice. And finally, in this month of July 2025, the deal has been finalized. They have finally taken over. They have finally been given the go-ahead to acquire our MultiChoice broadcaster that reaches over 22 million Africans across 50 countries through platforms like DSTV, GoTV, and streaming platforms. So our African leaders just gave them the head of MultiChoice, just gave it to Canal Plus, to France. Can you imagine? Is there sense in it? Because make this make sense. Now we are going to check out the reason why they actually did it. Why Canal Plus came for our broadcaster, for the largest broadcaster in Africa. Let's check it out. Now, in a statement released by the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, they said that this acquisition represents a significant step in expanding our presence across Africa, one, particularly in English-speaking markets. So they did this to expand the reach. And you think it will still be in your hands? We are still going to check out the other reason why Canal Plus came for our media. Let's check it out. Well, the move comes as Canal Plus seeks to bolster its growth in this blooming African market. So they know that Africa has a blooming market and they seek to expand their reach. And Africa, will I say foolishly, gave it to them on a platter. Well, Canal Plus acquisition of MultiChoice is driven by its ambition to expand its reach in the African entertainment market and capitalize on the region's growth potential. The deal, which gives Canal Plus full control of MultiChoice, popular DSTV and GoTV platforms, allows French media giants to strengthen its position in Africa and compete more effectively with global streaming services. So did you get that right? They came to Africa because they want to expand their reach, because they know Africa has a blooming market and they want to take control of it. And our African leaders did not see this. They gave it to Canal Plus. Now let's check the growth overview of this MultiChoice they handed over to Canal. How is it going to be in 2027? Let's check it out. Now, Africa's pay TV market is projected to reach $6.4 billion by 2027, making it an attractive market for investment. Canal Plus is leveraging MultiChoice's existing infrastructure and subscriber base in Africa to accelerate its growth. That's not all. Canal Plus already faces increased competition from streaming platforms in its whole. So expansion into new markets like Africa is a strategic what? Priority. So let's get this right. By 2027, MultiChoice that our African leaders just sold to Canal Plus, the French media giant, is projected to reach $6.46 billion. And they sold it for $3 billion. Did they not think of the long-term goal, of the long-term benefits? Wow, what is actually in the mind of our leaders? What were they thinking? I think they need to come out and give us a statement on the reason why they did this. We need to know what they were thinking, because this here is not enough. Now let's check out this overview of MultiChoice. MultiChoice is a public company broadcasting pay TV. The predecessor was Mnet, founded 9th of November 1994, 30 years ago. Headquartered in Randburg, South Africa, serves Sub-Sahara Africa. Product: satellite TV. Revenue: 48 billion rand in 2023. Net income: 7.8 billion rand in 2023. Total assets: 14 billion rand 2023. Oh, now Canal Plus SC actually has 45.2% shares. Alan Gray, a South Africa investment management firm, has 3.95% shares, and the Vanguard Group, which is an American registered investment advisor, owns 2.58% of MultiChoice. So Mnet, the predecessor of MultiChoice, is South African owned. MultiChoice was founded in South Africa, and it expanded to other African countries in 1995. Even in Nigeria, it came to Nigeria 1995. And currently, it is no longer ours. It doesn't belong to Africa anymore. Africa's biggest, largest broadcaster now belongs to France's largest media giant, Canal Plus. I think at this point, it is necessary to ask what our fate is. What have our leaders just done? They are always selling us out. How would they not think of the long-term effects of this they just did? Will our narrative be preserved? Will our culture be preserved? Will our content be preserved? Because they control the narrative right now. How sure are we that there will be no propaganda? They won't project what concerns them and leave us out of it, or even if it's supposed to be ours? Sometimes our leaders need some whooping. They need to come back to their senses. Because what is this? For crying out loud. So in 2025, in the 21st century, before our very eyes, our leaders sold Africa's biggest broadcaster to our former colonizers, French media giants. I think we should clap for our leaders. What do you have to say about this story? Comment below and do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button. My name is Lynient Akotonou.